The autumn wind whispered through the sacred grounds of Arlington National Cemetery. Rows of white headstones stretched endlessly across the Emerald Hills. Under a gray October sky, hundreds of mourners gathered in perfect formation. They came to honor General Marcus Washington, a decorated war hero who served his country for 37 years. Military officials stood at attention, their medals gleaming in the pale sunlight. Family members clutched folded flags, tears streaming down their faces as the honor guard prepared for the final salute. Just as the chaplain began the final prayer, heavy footsteps echoed across the marble pathway. Officer Jake Kane pushed through the crowd, his uniform wrinkled and badge tarnished. His eyes burned with hatred as he spotted the grieving family in the front row. Without warning, Kane shoved past elderly veterans and pointed directly at David Washington, the general's 25-year-old son. "You people don't belong here," Kane shouted, his voice cutting through the sacred silence. "This is America's cemetery." The crowd froze in horror. Kane's hand moved to his holster, fingers wrapping around his service weapon. He drew the gun and aimed it straight at David's chest. Women screamed. Children cried. Military officers stepped forward, but Kane waved the weapon wildly, keeping everyone at bay. "Back off!" Kane snarled, spittle flying from his lips. "I'm cleaning up this place, one family at a time." The sacred ceremony had become a nightmare of terror and racism. Dozens of smartphones emerged from coat pockets and purses. Veterans, family members, and reporters captured every second of Kane's racist rampage. The officer seemed oblivious to the cameras surrounding him, lost in his hateful tirade. "You animals need to crawl back where you came from," Kane screamed, still pointing his weapon at the terrified family. His voice carried across the cemetery as phones recorded his every word. "This country belongs to real Americans, not your kind." Within minutes, the footage began uploading to social media platforms. News helicopters circled overhead like mechanical vultures. Reporter vans screeched into the cemetery parking lot, their crews rushing toward the chaos with cameras rolling. A quick internet search revealed Kane's dark history. Multiple complaints from black families in his patrol district. Excessive force incidents swept under the rug. Traffic stops that turned into harassment sessions. The evidence painted a clear picture of systematic racism and abuse of power. Jinghao Justice for General and Jinghao Arrest Kane began trending worldwide. The story exploded across every news channel, exposing decades of corruption and hatred that had festered in the shadows. FBI agent Sarah Chen arrived at the scene within 2 hours. Her sharp eyes surveyed the aftermath as Kane sat handcuffed in a police cruiser, still muttering threats. Chen had built her career fighting civil rights violations, and this case would become her most important mission. "Secure all video evidence," Chen ordered her team. "Interview every witness before they leave." Back at FBI headquarters, Chen's investigation uncovered a horrifying pattern. Kane had terrorized black families for 15 years. Mrs. Rosa Turner came forward, describing how Kane had beaten her teenage son during a routine traffic stop. James Miller testified about Kane breaking into his home without a warrant, claiming he looked suspicious while watering his own lawn. The evidence mounted rapidly. Body camera footage showed Kane using racial slurs during arrests. Complaint files revealed a conspiracy among his supervisors to bury misconduct reports. Internal emails exposed jokes about teaching those people their place. Chen worked 18-hour days, building an ironclad case. Phone records proved Kane had organized other officers to target minority neighborhoods. Bank statements revealed he had stolen money during illegal searches. Medical reports documented injuries from his brutal encounters. Justice was finally within reach. The federal courthouse overflowed with supporters wearing Justice for General Washington buttons. Every seat was filled as families who had suffered under Kane's reign of terror finally found their voices. Judge Patricia Williams maintained order with firm authority as the prosecution presented their overwhelming case. Rosa Turner took the witness stand, her voice trembling but determined. He called my son terrible names while beating him senseless. My boy was only 16 years old. James Miller followed, describing Kane's illegal home invasion. He destroyed our family photos, laughed at my military service medals, and threatened to plant drugs if we complained. Kane's defense attorney fumbled through weak excuses, but the video evidence spoke louder than any argument. The jury watched in silence as Kane's racist rants played on courtroom monitors. After just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. Their faces showed no doubt about their decision. Kane sat motionless as his lawyer whispered frantically in his ear, knowing the inevitable verdict was coming. Guilty on all counts, the jury foreman announced. Kane's face went pale as the words echoed through the silent courtroom. Judge Williams leaned forward, her voice steady and clear. Officer Jake Kane, you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Outside the courthouse, hundreds of supporters erupted in celebration. Children held signs reading "Heroes Never Die" while veterans saluted toward Arlington Cemetery. David Washington stepped to the microphones, his voice strong with emotion. My father fought for justice his entire life. Today, justice fought back for him. The crowd cheered as news crews captured the historic moment. For the first time in decades, a corrupt officer faced real consequences for his crimes. Hope had returned to a community that had suffered too long in silence.